This time I mentioned a super easy, super mind-blowing, almost completely self-working beginner magic trick that you could learn the instant you watch this video. Let's do this. Okay, so you're going to start with two spectators. You're going to start with one spectator on your left and one spectator on your right. And then what you're going to mention to the spectators is that we have a completely shuffled deck of cards, 52 different options to choose from, but it's one thing for you to say that it's mixed, it's another thing for them to actually mix it. So what you're going to do is you're going to give half the cards to the spectator on your left and half the cards to the spectator on your right, and they're going to shuffle up their half of the deck. So the spectator is going to be shuffling up their half, and the other spectator is going to be shuffling up their half of the deck. Then, after they feel they have completely shuffled the deck as much as they like, what you're going to do is you're going to mention to the spectator that you are going to leave the room, and what you want them to do is you want them to shuffle up their deck and then flip it over, spread the cards out, and look for a card that they feel that stands out to them. So let's say it was the Ace of Spades or whatever they want, and then that would be the card that they would pick. And what you're going to ask them to do is when you are out of the room, do that and put it face down on the table in front of you. So they're both going to do it. So I'm going to be out of the room at this point, and the spectators are going to be shuffling their cards just like this. And then normally you're going to ask them to spread out their cards like this and find one that they want and feels that it stands out to them. But for this performance, I don't want to see the card, so I'm just going to spread the cards out towards you, and let's say they picked this one right here. Okay, so hopefully you can see what card they have chosen. We're going to put that down right there, and the other spectator is going to do the same. They're going to shuffle up their cards, and then they're going to pull out any card they want, like this one right here. So that's the card they would have chosen, and that's going to go right there. Now, at this point, they're going to call you back in the room, and you're going to mention to the spectator that you had a free choice of which card to choose from, and the cards are completely shuffled. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this card, you're going to slide it in the center of the deck, and then you're going to take this card, and you're going to slide that in the center of the deck as well. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask the spectators to keep shuffling these cards, their half of the deck. So they're going to keep shuffling their half of the deck, and then you're going to come back, you're going to put these together, and you're going to say, okay, so this is a completely free choice. You could have said, you could have shuffled more, you could have shuffled less, completely up to you. You chose whatever card you wanted out of your half of the deck. They say yes, and then what's going to happen? Okay, so at this point what you're going to do is you're going to spread out the cards. You're going to mention to the spectator that there is no way I can know what your card is, but just by using my psychic abilities, if you actually send the card to me and think of it in your head, then I could actually scan the deck and figure out what your card is. So you're going to turn to this spectator, and you're going to just start feeling around, and you're going to be like, I feel like one of the cards is somewhere around here. So you're going to pull that out, and you're going to say the next card, I believe, is somewhere around here. So, you narrowed it down to a few cards, so these could go to the side. Now, you're going to spread these out, you're going to turn to this spectator, and you're going to say, think of the card in your head. And you're going to turn to this spectator, and you're going to ask them to think of their card in their head as well. Then, you're going to go like this, and you're going to say, I feel one of the cards is somewhere around here, and one of the cards is somewhere around here. So we narrowed it down to a few more cards, and then you ask them to think of it in their head, and you say, I feel that one of the cards is not a queen, and you know what, in this half, we could narrow it down to that. So I feel that that one of the cards is either the Queen of Diamonds or the Ace of Hearts, and one of the cards is either one of the Jacks or the 10 of Spades. Now, you're going to ask them to think of their card, slowly. You know what, I feel one of the cards is the 10 of Spades, and the other one is the Ace of Hearts. One of those done, I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so what I want to mention before I do this is, if you don't build this up, it won't be an amazing trick. If you build it up and act like this is a crazy mind reading or ESP or whatever you want to do kind of trick, this will be one of the most amazing tricks you will ever do. So, anyways, this is how it's going to be done. Okay, so unfortunately this trick does require some setup, so here's the setup. Basically what you're going to need to do is you need to remove the even cards from the odd cards. So you got the even cards and the odd cards. So, what's going to happen is with the kings, you're going to want to put them in separate piles, so what you can do whatever you want. You can either put the red cards in the even pile and the black cards in the odd pile. You just got to make sure you remember which one is which. Alright, so what I like to do is I put a king and a king right next to each other on each end, because at the very start you're going to spread these cards out, and it makes it a lot easier to split the cards with the even and odd piles. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put two kings right beside each other, and then you're going to casually mention to the spectator, okay, you know, these cards are completely shuffled, but it's one thing to say, for me to say that they're completely shuffled. It's another thing for you to actually shuffle them yourself. Then you're going to pick up the cards, you're going to cut it directly at that king. So I have all of the even cards and all of the odd cards on the other side. Yeah, so you're going to hand this to one spectator to shuffle up, and you're going to take the rest, and you're going to hand it to the other spectator to shuffle up. And this is really, really good because they feel, oh yeah, I could shuffle this as much as I'd like, it's completely fair, all that stuff. And then the other spectator is going to shuffle their half of the deck. Then it is completely fair. They feel they can shuffle it as much as you want, and you want to build this up. You want to make sure that they feel confident that it's as shuffled as they want it. So you say, are you sure? Do you want to shuffle it more? Give them opportunities like that. Like when they put it down, you say, and say they're done, you're saying, are you sure that this is how much you want to shuffle it? They say yes. Maybe even ask them, do you want to maybe give it a cut or something like that? It's completely up to you. You could not if you want. And you know, you just want to make sure that they feel very confident of how much they could shuffle the cards, and you want to build this up. This is really important for this trick. This trick is basically, all the trick is basically acting and like making sure that you sell it as a really, really strong effect. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to mention the whole idea of you leaving the room, them pulling out any card they want, looking at it, shuffling the deck, and putting it face down and all that stuff. So you're going to leave the room, and then you're going to ask them to shuffle up the deck of cards, spread through the cards face up, because I think it makes it a little bit more amazing when they get to choose an option of their cards, and they're going to pull out any card they want, flip it over, and put it face down. And don't worry about the even odd idea. I don't think very many people will notice that you have all even and all odd cards, so just don't worry about that. So you are going to let them spread the cards out face up when you're out of the room and pick their own choice, not face down, because I think it'll make it a little bit more amazing if you have it face up, because they get to choose which one they want. So they're gonna pull out one, let's say they chose the 9 of spades, put it face down and finish it, put the cards like that, and then the other spectator is gonna do the same. Let's just say they chose, I don't know, the 10 of clubs, and they're gonna put it face down like that, and they're gonna call you back in the room, and you're gonna let them shuffle again, because you want to make sure you're completely fair. So you're going to say, okay, do you want to keep shuffling your packs? So after they feel completely fair, you're going to take it back, and you could do a false shuffle at this point. You don't have to, because I feel that they still feel like it's completely shuffled. But if you want, what I did in the performance is I just did a false shuffle. There's many tutorials on how to do that. I might make a tutorial later on of how to do a false shuffle, but I don't have one out yet, so just look at somebody else's tutorial on false shuffle. So I did a quick overhand shuffle, well, false overhand shuffle, and basically it's a way to make it so it looks like you shuffled the deck when in reality it's staying the same. Oh yeah, and one thing I forgot to mention before you do this is, yeah, obviously you're going to pick up the cards like this, and you're going to put the cards in like this, you're going to pick up the deck, and then you're going to want to keep a break. So we got even cards and odd cards, so this one is for, yeah, so we got the odd cards over here, right? And the even cards over here. So what's going to happen is you're going to pick up the cards like this. You're going to pick up this deck, and you're going to put it on top of this pack like this, and you're going to keep a break. So what's going to happen is you're going to take this card, which is the odd card. It's going to go in between all of the other even cards. So just like that, I put it in between all of the even cards, as you guys can see. And then what I'm going to do is, since I have the break, I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to drop it over here, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this card, putting it in between all of the odd cards, the even card, and then you can ask them, shuffle it up some more, so they keep shuffling the cards up, because you, remember, you want this to be extremely fair, so they keep shuffling it up, and then you're going to put these together and you're going to say, now, this is completely fair, there is no way I can know what either of your cards is. Well, obviously that's a lie because you have it set up. But anyways, they believe that this is completely fair at this point. I mean, this is actually a really, really strong effect, but you have to make it strong. It's not a strong effect unless you make it strong. So you are the person who decides whether this is a good effect or a bad effect. Now, you're going to take the cards, you're going to completely spread it out, this is completely fair, and then you're going to want to build this up. Now this may take practice to easily spread through and find out which cards are even and odd, but honestly, it's not that hard. I mean, you just scan through, and then you can notice, you know, we see the 10 of clubs here, and it's in between the other cards that are not even. So, you're going to go like this, and you're going to say, okay, I feel that your card is somewhere around here, and you're going to do this super slowly because it makes it super dramatic. So you're going to say, okay, I feel that one of the cards is somewhere around here, and you're going to be asking them, think of your card, think of it, send it to me, basically. And then you're going to say, I feel that another card is somewhere around here. Because you see what I did there? I'm looking and I see that this card is not even, and it's in between all the odd cards, so I know exactly what their card is at this point. But even though I know what their card is at this point, it's way better to actually build it out like this rather than saying, oh, is this your card? Oh, trick done. No, that's not really good. So you want to build this up. You're going to bring it down, and you're going to say, keep thinking of your card. So I feel your card is somewhere around here, and your card is somewhere around here. And do this super slowly. I'm actually kind of rushing through this because this is just a tutorial, but you get the idea. You want to do this super slowly. Like, if I was doing this for a real performance, I would literally be doing this pretty much completely slow motion. I'd be like, okay, I feel your card is somewhere around here, and your card is one of these two. So you get the idea. Eventually you're going to end up with two cards, two cards, which are going to be their two cards, and that is... Well, that's pretty much it. If you like this content, subscribe down below to be notified of future uploads. I do lots of magic tutorials, so I teach lots of magic tricks. I do lots of magic trick tips and tricks. So I teach you not only how to do card tricks and how to do other kinds of magic tricks, I also teach you the real secrets behind magic and how to make your tricks more effective, that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers, so please help me out on my goal. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's for now. I'll see you next time.